Once upon a time, it matters little when, and in stalwart England it matters little where, a fierce battle was fought. It was fought upon a long summer day, when the waving grass was green. Many a wild flower formed by the almighty hand to be perfumed goblet for the dew, felt its enamelled cup fill high with blood that day, and shrinking, dropped. Many an insect, deriving its delicate colour from harmless leaves and herbs, was stained anew that day by dying men, and marked its frightened way with an unnatural tack. It's the opening couple of lines of The Battle of Life, a love story by Charles Dickens. It was published in 1846, and I would like to thank whoever left a first edition of this book on a Morrison's bookshelf for me to pick up and find. For a while, I wasn't sure if it was actually a first edition, and someone will probably come along and correct me and go, no, you're wrong, it's not, because of this border here, which is a lot plainer than most of the other versions that I've seen. It is one of the more common ones on the inside, but it is a first edition. And you can see it in the way it's printed. It's a fourth state of the first edition, so it's got this lovely banner and cherub at the bottom of this illustration in the opening illustrations here. But there's more to it than that. It's had a life since it was published, and one of the things that really intrigued me was this stamp here, which says, you probably can't see it on here, it says W.H. Smith and Sons Library, 186 Strand. And that threw me a bit because W.H. Smith's is actually still around. It's a stationery store, and I thought, well, they don't have a library. But they do. I looked into it, and in 1792 they were established as a stationery, but the library didn't get started until 1860, which again made me question what this book was. And it was a circulating library, which were very common in Victorian times. Basically, you would have a subscription and you would pay a monthly fee, and you could get a book a month or a book a day, a book a week. As far as W.H. Smith was concerned, it was you could exchange a book a day, and they were one of the biggest circulating companies. There's some great articles on it if you go to victorianvoices.net. The other thing, so I guess it was a bit like Audible or, streaming services of our day. That's what this was. It's got this list of illustrations, and every single one of them is beautiful. I mean, you saw the first one there, and there's just lots and lots of them, and they're all absolutely fantastic. But beyond the illustrations and the beautiful artwork in here, the gilt edging, this is a book that was definitely owned by someone who loved it and read it and loved Charles Dickens' way with words, because I found these, and they're little sweat stains, and the first one I saw was actually a bit further back. It was this one right here, and I thought, oh, someone's put food on their book, as you do. Sometimes you spill stuff on books if you're reading them at the dinner table, but it's a very odd shape to have. And sure enough, as I leafed through, I found these absolutely beautiful paper dolls that somebody had used to bookmark the thing. I don't think they're as old as the book, just like the W.H. Smith stamp can't be as old as the book, but it's still part of the life of this book. I think they're probably early 19th century, possibly even later. I mean, my mum said she had some of these in the 60s. If someone knows anything about these, please tell me, because all I get are vague kind of paper dolls are great things and adverts when I go and Google search it, because I am a bit of an amateur. But I love Charles Dickens's prose, and this wasn't a book that I knew much about. I knew about A Christmas Carol, and about Great Expectations and Oliver Twist, and even Little Dorrit if you've seen the BBC adaptation, but I'd never actually heard of this before. But it always astounds me that literary writers of the past just had such prose, and that's something that shouldn't be lost. Um, and again, once again, thank you to whoever left this on Morrison's bookshelf. And if you're like me and you're a book collector who is broke most of the time, then don't stop looking on bookshelves. You find some amazing things in charity shops and in supermarket charity bookshelves. Um, Thanks.